Welcome back to another brand new episode on E on a Mic. I'm your host E, and today we are gonna go over the top 10 running backs. Yes, indeed. Yes, the football season is coming soon. The preseason that's gonna be intriguing to watch. But let's get to the running backs here, would be interesting for this top 10 running backs. I do know I do have my honorable mentions, as I always like to show. Now, my honorable mentions will be Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon, and I also will put Joshua Jacobs into the honorable mentions there. They just merely missed the cut there. I think Zeke's in a downfall year. I feel that Tony Pollard will be taking his spot more, and that's why I'm gonna have Zeke going down. Now, a combination that could be a top 10 combination running backs, but I want to say solely on Zeke there, so I have him right there at top 15. Same thing with Barkley there. Yes, could Barkley bounce back from his injuries from previous years? Yes, there's a chance, especially the Giants have upgraded their offensive line. There's huge possibility they can do that. But I just don't see him right there at top 10. And then you also look at Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, man. He's been an underrated running back for the Raiders. He's finding some success there. Now the Raiders offensive line is not the best, but Joshua Jacobs can get it done for that line. Have you seen it last year? I think he's on the stride there. He could even possibly top 10 even in this upcoming season. But as of right now, I just have him missing out on the top 10. So without further ado, let's get to our top 10. At our number 10, we're going to start with the previous rookie of last year, and I'm going to start talking about Najee Harris. Yes, I do have Najee Harris number 10. I think he just barely makes a cut there. You may have the argument that saying he was a rookie, you want to see his second year before you even decide giving him the top 10. I think it's worth giving him the top 10 there, especially after contact. Before contact is 1.7. After contact is a huge 2.3, 2.1 for Najee Harris, giving him a great. Even with a bad Steelers offensive line last year, it wasn't the greatest. I'm not saying they were bad, but it wasn't the greatest either. But he still managed to get over 1,000 rushing yards for the Steelers there, especially with Big Ben barely surviving last year as well. Now you got to look at their offensive line. They proved a tad bit there. There's still a question mark there. Is that offensive line going to hold up for their new quarterbacks? Let's say for Mitchell Trubisky or for Kenny Pickett as of right now. But I think Najee Harris is definitely the star of that team. Also, when you start looking at it more, Chase Claypool, George Pickens, for example, Deontay Johnson, for example, that's going to be interesting team there. I do like Najee Harris at number 10 there. I feel he will definitely be a star for the Steelers. More to come for this season. As we go to our number 9 on this list here, I do have Austin Eckler on this list right here. I do see him from looking at his stats from last season, of course, 911 rushing yards before contact. He is 2.3 afterwards. He declines a little bit there, 2.1, even though the Chargers do have a great offensive line there as well. This team could really blossom Austin Eckler, especially in the third down conversions there. Now, of course, he'll definitely give you great opportunities for a lot of touchdowns this year for Austin Eckler. But I really do feel, especially with a great offensive line, great quarterback system there, you have great wide receivers. This team's going to be deadly, especially with Austin Eckler. I feel Austin Eckler will improve his skills here. You wouldn't be surprised. He could be in the top 5. Now, it's too early now, but I do like Austin Eckler moving forward for the Chargers there. I really like him from last year. I think he's gonna be successful this year, and especially after the contact. Just needs to fix a little bit after the contact. There are yards after the contact, but he's been fabulous. He did get over 900 rushing yards, of course. He is also a great field back, especially on third downs, especially pass ability. That's what you give. Especially, also forgot to mention that about Najee. He's also great in the passing game as well. So I do really like Najee at 10 and number 9, Austin Eckler. As we go to our number 8, now this is gonna be interesting here. I know some people have this guy right here, probably in their top fives or just outside of their top tens. But as of right now, at number 8, I have CMC, aka Christian McCaffrey. Now, why do I have Christian McCaffrey at number 8? Yes, he has some injuries that has been prolonging him since 2019. He hasn't had a full season since that great, beautiful season where he had 1,000 rushing yards, 1,000 receiving yards. Now, you look at it last year, he had 442 rushing yards. in total before injuring against the Dolphins game, which I cited him for the rest of the season. Now before the contact, he was 2.1 before the contact attempts. Afterwards, after the contact, he was 2.2, which gives him great abilities there. I do feel he can recover from this season. He's still not going to have the great O line. I mean, they did add a piece there. And then I just don't think CMC is going to go back into his rhythm, especially the not so much great offensive line. Now, however, I do see him breaking out, especially in the receiving game. Especially you still got Baker Mayfield, you got Sam Darnold competing for the competition there. You still got DJ Moore into that backfield, into the wide receiver, excuse me. Now, I think he's going to be successful with Baker Mayfield if Baker Mayfield is a starter there more than if it's Sam Darnold. As of right now, that's what I really do like CMC right now. At number 8, even though injuries has caused him to plummet down from where he was previous at. At number 7, I do got the cheese, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones last year, 799 rushing yards, splitting with AJ Dillon, 799 rushing yards. He goes 2.4 before contact. Afterwards, he's he's a little bit in decline there, 2.3, not a whole lot there. Green Bay Packers has a great offensive line there. Yes, there's some big pieces there that has left Green Bay. For example, Devontae Adams, Rodgers is going to have a field day, especially with Jones, AJ Dillon to the mix there. Those are two great duos there. I really like Aaron Jones there, especially in the backfield on the first and second down abilities there. Now, of course, you don't see him too much on the third down since AJ Dillon's most likely in third down conversions there half of the time. Now, I have him 7 there. I, he got up to 7 there over CMC and Najee. And it's just really just I really like him at number 7 there. I think it's very comfortable where I have him for Aaron Jones there. I feel he's going to be successful there, especially with Aaron Rodgers not having too much weapons there. I mean, he does have Sammy Watkins in there. They have a couple second and third round picks, wide receivers, and fourth round wide receivers there. So Aaron Rodgers is going to throw to the people that he's more comfortable throwing. I think he's going to be more comfortable throwing to Alan Lazard and also to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was great in the receiving game last year, so expect more out of Aaron Jones, and that's why I have it at number 7 up to this upcoming 2022 NFL season. As we go to our number 6, I do have Alvin Kamara. I have Alvin Kamara there. He had 898 rushing yards last year. You look at before contact, he was 2.1 before contact. Afterwards, he depleted down to 1.5 at the contact there. Saints were right in the mid tier, right around 15, 20 in the rankings of the offensive line, basing off on last year. Of course, they improved just a tad bit there. I mean, they did lost pieces like Teron Armstead to free agency, for example, but that Saints offense is going to be great for the Saints. However, though, Kamara is pending on a suspension. The NFL has not concluded how many games that will be, but that would be a huge loss for the Saints there for the season. So, of course, it will deplete it down for him from the top 5s right now for Kamara. I do still have him at number 6. I think he's great in the passing game as well as the rushing game there. He has some struggles with the contact after contact. Once contact is submitted to him there, I really do feel he just needs to improve in after yards after contact. But as of right now, I do like Kamara at number 6. As we finally get into our top 5 now, we are going to our number 5, and I like Joe Mixon at number 5 there. Joe Mixon had a fabulous year last year, 1,205 rushing yards, great in the receiving field as well. He was 2.3 before contact. After contact, he did slimmer down to 1.9, but you do got to remember this. The defensive line for the Bengals wasn't as great last year, as you can tell from the Super Bowl and the Titans game in the playoffs. Big factors there. But Joe Mixon definitely has proved himself to be a top 5 worthy going to this year, especially now the Bengals have a they spent all out on the defensive line, bringing that offensive line to help protect Joe Burrow, bring more run game for Joe Mixon there to really improve the Bengals there, and especially the great wide receiver core with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, for example, on that squad for the Bengals. I really do like Joe Mixon at number 5 there, comparing to Kamara. I feel Joe Mixon is definitely moved over Alvin Kamara based on especially yards before and after contact and his ability from the two different situations there. At number four, I do have the former FSU, Dalvin Cook. Yes, I do have Dalvin Cook at four. He did have 1,159 rushing yards last year, although he was great before contact at 2.7. After contact, he depleted all the way down to 1.9. Yeah, so that is it's pretty bad, especially after contact. There, you would like to have him a little bit more, like have a big high before contact, and then after contact be up high, which we'll get to Nick Chubb, for example. What I mean by that. Now, I do like him in the situation. They have a nice squad there in the Vikings. You look at Kirk Cousins, himself, Dalvin Cook, JJ, Adam Thielen. I love the wide receiver core. They also got Albert Wilson there in the free agency. We'll see if he makes it to as a number third wide receiver there. I think he has a high expectation there, especially I know how Albert Wilson plays down here in Miami. But just looking right back to Cook there, he's great in the passing field, great on the line. I think as of right now, he's great at number four. They're coming up to this season there, and this will most likely help the Vikings to their playoff chances. As we go to our number three on our list here, we are talking Nick Chubb. Yes, right. Nick Chubb from the Cleveland Browns. I've been loving this guy since the University of Georgia. You look at his stats last year of 1,259 yards before contact. He was 2.5 before contact. After contact, he was 3.0 after contact, which is huge. This is huge right there, especially the Browns have a great offensive line. You can even argue they're in the top five right now in the NFL for the Browns there. I really like his game there, especially he had a split carries with Kareem Hunt and Johnson in the backfield. He was phenomenal. Okay, he was phenomenal. I really do like Nick Chubb in that backfield there. He's not great in the passing game, but he can really hurt you on the ground game, especially that Browns team. We don't know how that Watson situation is right now. It's in on a 6-game suspension there, but the NFL has appealed it during this time of this recording, so we do not know if he's going to be starting or not. We do know, however, that Jacoby Brissett will be the starter there, and especially when you have Amari Cooper in the mix and a lot of loaded running back squad there. So as of right now, I do like Nick Chubb's chances, especially in that offensive line. Going to our number two on our list here is Jonathan Taylor. That's right, Jonathan Taylor, who almost got 2,000 rushing yards, but instead he got 1,811 rushing yards. Before the contact, he was 2.6. After the contact, he was 2.8. Yes, he has a great offensive line for the Colts there. I think he's going to be doing great this year. He's also great on the passing game as well. So that gives him a dual threat there. He almost even threatened the number one guy that I have on my list here, but I really just haven't seen two here. Of course, you want to see another year out of him. Now you can maybe have that argument with Najee as well. I do have him on number two there. I just really feel that the guy that I have number one would have had more rushing yards than this guy that I have at number two. But I really do like Jonathan Taylor number two there. I really feel comfortable right there for number two for Jonathan Taylor. He's going to be successful. I really love them out of Wisconsin. I wish Miami could have taken him, but Taylor has been very successful with the Colts offensive line, and he's going to be successful with Matt Ryan. Have a great running back and wide receiver, Michael Pittman Jr. in there into the mix. Jonathan Taylor at number two. As we go to our last one on our list, the number one, the king himself, King Derrick Henry. That's right, King Derrick Henry, or as everyone like to call him, Derrick Henry. Yes, I have a number one. Why do I have number one? I have a number one. Before he got injured, before he was out, in the first 8 weeks, he was already at 937 rushing yards. People forget about that. He was still in the rushing yards category even when he was injured. Okay, he was still in the top five in there after he was injured for a couple of weeks. Still, I felt Derrick Henry could have got 2,000 rushing yards this year. Now you look at before contact, it was 2.1 attempt. Afterward, 2.2. which is a huge deal to look at, especially after contact there. He is great on the football field. The tight ends are top 15, especially in protection wise for Derrick Henry. That's how he's been succeeding into that Titans offense is based on Derrick Henry. You, of course, you look at Ryan Tannehill, who is also great on the legs as well and the passing game. But mostly you want to solely rely on Derrick Henry, especially they just traded away A.J. Brown to the Eagles, and now Treylon Burks is their guy as of right now, and could possibly be in Tannehill's last season, possibly since they did draft Malik Willis in this year's draft. So there's a possibility Tan may not be there at this time. But going back to Henry, yes, I do have him number one. Yes, he's not great in the passing game, but he is great, especially on the ground game. I really felt he would have went back to back 2,000 rushing yards for the Titans. That's going to do it here on the top 10 running backs list. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with this list or you do not agree with this list, and explain who should have been up here, who was snubbed. Let me know. Just let me know in the comment section. Next week, I will have the top 10 wide receivers, and we're going to start getting closer to my Dolphins predictions. So we're going to upgrade our more video counts more often than not there as well. But until the next time for the episode, I will see you guys in the next one, and have a great day, guys. Until then, peace.